Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully Santa was good to you, Jerry. Oh, great, great. Always wonder about that when I first get started, whether my mics are working and everything. I am wonderful. We drove up to Tennessee, spent the holidays with all three of our kids. So the one daughter um, that lives in Oklahoma City drove over, and then the two there in Tennessee. We had a really good time. I am working on my fences, my toothpick fences. The my recent tips, last three, I guess, or maybe four tips of the day have been on my toothpick fences. And let me tell you what, I'll throw a picture up in case you haven't seen them. There, that fence that's going around my salvage yard over there, Woody's Salvage. Uh, that's what I'm working on. I got one side done, and it's basically a kind of uh, truncated triangle. So I got 1/3 of it done. The next tip of the day will be how I mounted that fence in, actually. So how's the weather in Philly this time of year? I know because I used to have to go there this time of year. And not something I cherish. 50's not bad for this time of year. It's not the 80s that we have here. Should have put my Blame Heath shirt on today. Not that I have anything to blame them for yet, but you know, just in principle's sake. Hey, Rick, what's happening? I ended up watching Sidetrack Sunday thing twice. Once on the Ray Sidetrack Sunday channel, and then once on the build. What is it? Build crew or whatever. Finally, hey, Mr. Jimbo, move which cam? I got two of them right now going. The big one or the little one? Tell you what, it's probably easier to move the jig. Is that what you wanted me to move? I'm just cutting and lining up fence pickets. Since I only have a third of that fence done. Hey, John. Happy New Year's Eve to you as well. John, you made to be number 2 to everybody else, but you're number 1 in my book. Now, these are the flats. So what you do is you get all of the thick sections to one side. Let's see, I need to be over here. All right, all thick, all thin to the other side. All right, and then I have a jig on my chopper. And I want these pickets to be 10 foot tall. It's 10 scale feet tall. And, you know, they don't have to be perfect because this is a distressed junkyard fence. All right, so I line them up there on the jig. Chop. I save the small sections because they'll be good for a picket fence somewhere else because they're about 6 foot tall. All right, so now I have my pickets cut. The next thing is when you cut them, you want all thin on the same side, all thick on the same other side. But when you line them up here on the jig, you want to alternate. Okay, so that you, otherwise you're going to have a fence that is leaning in one direction or another. And it doesn't have to necessarily be every one. Especially in this situation, since it's a distressed distressed fence. All right, but you want to stay as close as possible to vertical pickets, plumb. And I cut about 8 or 10 at one time and then line them up. just to alternate. Uh, the biggest challenge is not to bump it, having the pickets go in all directions before you get them glued. So what everybody get? The only train layout related thing I got was a grocery distribution center, the old time one. And it's going in the lift out section across kind of to the right. If I showed the other picture, all right, you can see across the tracks there, Woody's, and then behind that tree to the right will be where the grocery distribution center goes. Hey, Steve, younger Steve. I have my mouse pointer out here for a reason. And yeah, I like those ground shots. Hey, Anthony. All right, Mr. Jimbo. Yeah, but yours is probably a gentleman's club, Rick. Rick, you did see my response about the science on the plastic, right? I'm gonna show you that Heinz Lumberyard sign, Rick. I'm sure that I did a TOD on it way back when, but hang on. Right there, that sign, that's the Walters Lumberyard or Atlas, one or the other. It's plastic. And so I took the tissue, printed that sign onto the tissue, and thinned it down more with a sanding block. And then a watery glue on the underside of it. and then an X-Acto to press it into the clapboard. Closer, see if I can. Probably not. So, anyway. Once I get enough uh, pickets down, then I add a section of rail. Because otherwise, you end up doing what I just did twice, 3 times. The length of a full toothpick. All right. So as soon as I get enough on here, all right, which will probably be another, at least one more cut set, then I will glue a couple rails, and I'll alternate the rails. All right. One thick end, one pointy end to each side, and then the pointy end, when I do the next section, I'll overlap. And it works out real well for HO. Not sure how scale wise it would look for N. My big fat fingers have a hard enough time in HO. Anybody going out partying tonight? We always stay at home, or go over to the neighbors. I think we're going to a neighbor's house tonight, and watch the fireworks. We got a decent sized lake right behind us. And as the fireworks go off, it reflects. Yeah, Mr. Ambrose. I am building more of my 10-foot tall distressed picket security fence around my junkyard. I've installed the first section. I haven't edited the video yet for the tip of the day on it. Andy, I saw one of the NMRA videos where you were moderating, and God, I forgot what it was. And you were giving the poor younger man hell, jokingly, of course. I think it's part of his introduction. All right, now I got enough to put some rails on. I use wood glue because it's toothpicks are, you got it, wood. You know, Andy, I wasn't even going to go there, but good question. So, Rick, you feeling a little cut up? Deadbeats, okay. I'm getting chop, chop, chop. I'm just a choppy kind of guy. These fences, I mean, I really like the way they turn out. You know, that's just me, but they're not easy to build. They're time consuming. I suppose scratch building isn't a time saver to begin with, so. Hey, hi. Or as I like to say, hiya, hi. All right, so Jerry said it was 50s there in the Philly area. What's it like over there in Holland High and England, Andy? Well, I hope so too, Andy. But if anybody's expecting this COVID thing to go away, guess what? It's not. Hello, Almar. Hey, did anybody win anything on Sparky's or Vinny's Christmas specials? I didn't win anything on Sparky's, but I know Steve, younger Steve, did on Cousins as well. I won a Southern Pacific, Athearn Southern Pacific ready to run locomotive on Cousins, plus a paint. I think an airbrush paint set. Oh, there you go, John. What kind of loco would you get? And the bigger question, N or HO? I think on Vinny's, everybody that entered won something. I think. Oh, okay. That's like me. I knew mine is a Southern Pacific, but I have no idea what. And I'm betting it's a more modern era. It's probably not even the era I model. So, is it? When you have heritage units, it looks backwards in the future. So, what do you call it when you have one that's in the future to your layout? All right, Rick. Okay, so it's officially afternoon. Okay. And since it is, oh, you got a movie now? Cool. One of TSG's, John Abatacola movies, I bet. Okay. Since it's afternoon, adult beverages are now encouraged. They were allowed beforehand. Now they're encouraged. And Andy, I suppose you've been on that for you said it was 5, so at least 5 hours now. Or are you working today? Or both? Yeah, Mr. Jimbo, I got a couple logos without sound. I've got a GP7, no, GP9, and I put a sound bug in. It's just not working. So I kicked myself in the butt with it. I got to take it apart and redo it. But I've got a SW or NW, whatever it is, down here that I did not put sound in because it was such a tight fit for everything. But I think I'm going to go back. I think I know a way I can put it. It's already got an N-scale decoder in it, but I'm going to put an N-scale sound decoder in it, and probably put a little bit bigger speaker on it, and then put a Keep Alive in it. So that's my game plan. And I got a GP30. That's not sound. That someday I'll fix. Hey, Heath. You on your lunch hour? You read a report that came through. I don't know if in some professions it's a matter of billable hours. There's a minimum billing. In other words, 15 minutes be half an hour billing. No, Heath, I'm not working with poopy tubes today. I think I'm going to save all my poopy tubes between now and Strasbourg. I'm going to save all my peanuts and give both Heath and Sparky presents. Hey, Z. She's saying hi to Randall. I didn't see Randall come in. So, hi, Randall. Shut down for Christmas. I'm shut down for Christmas, too. and for the rest of the year. God, I wish I'd quit dropping these suckers. Yeah, that's cool, Randall, but I'm not a Burlington Northern fan because that was the end of the CB&Q, as I knew it. And I just never took to that Cascade Green. Now I really like the BNSF paint scheme, and I've always been, of course, a Burlington, and I've always been a Santa Fe fan. So, what BN one did you get, Randall? I'm sure it's something more in the modern era. When the Southern Pacific one gets here, I'm going to have to look at the tag and try to memorize it. All right, time for more rails. As I say in the movie The Right Stuff, I screwed the pooch. Made a mess. No, no. No double. Yeah, what is my dog barking at? Get him, Penny. single-sided tape down the center to hold them till I glued them might work though. Z. Get them, Penny. Chase them away. Having the pickets go everywhere is kind of like on a live stream. It's kind of like having a derailment. All right, hi. We'll see you later. Yeah, Penny guards the neighborhood, but she would lick you to death. I need to give her Christmas present, and that's a trip over to the local Amazon distribution center so that she can bark and chase Amazon trucks. Because boy, she likes to do that. Hey, Brian. Welcome. I hate to ask what the Christmas video for your Vietnam in '68 layout. Would Santa Claus be wearing a helmet and carrying an M16? So watch me doing this. It's like watching Pete try to do it. And if I was a betting man, Brian, it probably happened. Somebody probably dressed up as Santa Claus. Probably not the smartest thing to do. For those that haven't watched my more recent tips of the day, I'll throw this up there. You can see the first section of the fence back there on the other side of that U25B. I only need this 18-inch section and one more. So for those of you in cooler climates, you'll be happy to know uh, that it is 80 degrees here in Tampa Bay, and I'm having to turn on the air conditioner. Visitors are welcome at the Retirement Railroad in the area. Stop on, stop on by. We'll run a train. In fact, my cohort, Mr. Jim Linton, will be coming by Sunday morning. We will be running trains. Well, good. Glad you're back. Hi. Brr, 58. And where's that at, Mr. Jimbo? Hey, low country, 77 degrees on the coast of Savannah. Yeah, it's sunny here. But it hasn't ever been to Savannah. That's a cool town. So is Charleston. Kentucky. Ah, well, I was just up. As a matter of fact, I was in Kentucky for a short period of time, going on a distillery tour. MB Roland uh, in Oak Grove, which is right on the Tennessee border by Fort Campbell. I wonder if anybody's doing a live stream New Year's Eve party tonight, since Vinny, at least he originally said he wasn't going to do it tonight. Maybe he will. It's too cold for me. All my business trips to Seattle. I don't remember any sunny days. I remember a few when I was in Portland, and a couple when I was over in Vancouver, BC. Ocean breeze. I'm about 6 miles from Tampa Bay, and I'm from the eastern shore of Tampa Bay. Probably just crow flies 15 miles to the Gulf. As the crow flies, it takes me about 45 minutes to get there. I prefer to go down to Anna Maria Island, which is just west of Great. It's commercialized. It's further away, but identical time to get to without the crowds. Everybody, when they come to Florida, want to go one of two places. They want to go to Clearwater Beach or Siesta Key. Siesta Key is still off of Sarasota. Those two fly back and forth. America's top beach. All right, Mr. Jimbo, have a happy New Year. Yeah, we don't have the salty air here, and really, we're kind of buffered for hurricanes here. I won't say we don't get them, but like when Irma came and hit down by Naples and went over Key West, but it came up over land here, so it took the bite out. And then most Gulf hurricanes are further off the coast. You get up in the Florida Panhandle, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. I know it. I really do, Steve. Barnum and Bailey Museum there. Another good place to go for circuses is Baraboo, Wisconsin. That was the summer home for the circuses. And I used to go snow skiing there, uh, just outside there. The two different resorts. One was Cascade, and the other one was Devil's Head. which are nothing more than the hillsides leading into the Wisconsin River Valley. Nothing like mountains. Hello, St. Lazy Model World. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen you on my channel before. You are most welcome. Thanks for coming. Oh, speaking of my train crew, there is Mr. John Linton himself. If you bring your 2 new flats, John, I'll let you pull my military train on Sunday. I've got the caboose. You just need motive power. Oh, wow, 57. That's not bad there, huh? I've got a somewhat funny story. So when my son was about 8 years old, or younger, maybe, back in the mid '90s, mid to late '90s, I built him a 4x8 layout and put legs on, full collapsible legs and everything. And I mean, it was pretty good layout. It had a turntable on it, and 5 or 6 sidings, just a nice 4x8 layout. And but anyway, he never really had the interest. So in my career, moved me around about every 3 years, 4 years. Later in my career, because I was kind of a fixer. And but anyway, so this layout got wrapped up in moving pads in 1999. Okay? And in 2012, or late 2011, I bought a 12-foot storage trailer, covered, and that layout has been on that trailer since 2012. Okay. And I really don't have a need for that trailer anymore. And my son just bought a house up in Tennessee, so I asked him if he wanted a trailer. He said, "Not if the train set's on it." Yeah, you little sucker. And so this went on for the last couple of years. And finally, I told him, "Well, I got a bedroom set for you. Chest of drawers, dresser mirror, 2 bedside tables, and a solid chair." Okay. I mean, you can't buy furniture like this anymore. They all have glass tops and everything. And I said, "But you got to take the trailer, all right, to get furniture." And my daughter-in-law, she says, "Oh, we want that furniture." And my son said, "No, if that train set's on there." I said, "Okay." So here, back in November, I found him a nice Ryobi weed eater. I had electric hedge clippers. I had electric blower vac. A drill press, um, have all this stuff. And I said, but I have no way of getting it there unless I bring the trailer. He said, okay. Says, just don't bring the train set. I said, no, you don't understand. I bring this up. I'm not unloading the train set. This is a one-way deal. So he ultimately relented, and we took him that trailer train set layout for the holidays. And my daughter-in-law has a 4-year-old nephew. She says, "Oh, Ace is going to love to this train set." And my son just starts shaking his head, and looks at, gives me that dirty look. Hey, Glenn. What's that saying? Better late than never. I missed last Friday simply because it was Christmas Eve, and I was busy unloading a trailer with a train set. As a matter of fact. Yeah, Lynn, but what's cold there in the desert? Or, excuse me, the high desert? Hot and cold are relative terms. Lynn, I hate to tell you this, but it's adult beverage time back here on the East Coast. Yeah, 39. That's fairly chilly. Of course, I grew up in Chicago. 39 this time of year wasn't so bad. And it would be downright warm from mid-January to mid-February. Hey, Kyle, you got that right. Everybody, all my old high school and college friends, uh, I guess they're jealous of me living in Florida. And they'll always say, yeah, but your summers are bad. I look at them and I said, where have you been? So there's more. Tampa Bay has never, since they started recording, keeping records, has never been over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Never. And yeah, I'm the Tom Sawyer, Lynn. But it ain't gonna be white. Here's the. I'll show the picture of it. I have installed the first one back there. Complete the signage. You want to see a lot of waterfall rain, go to Oklahoma in June. All right, there's a dry line that floats back and forth across the state. And torrential storms. That's why the severe weather center for the National Weather Service is there in Norman. Yeah, in the summertime, every day between 2 and 4, 2 and 5 o'clock, we'll get a squall shower. But the mornings are great. Yeah, that's the time to go to the beach. Typically, we head out about 9 in the morning. We stay at about 1, come home. I am H.O. St. Blasey. I used to make these little fences like out of toothpicks back when I was a kid. Of course, I didn't have a chopper. I had no idea about weathering um, or how to do signage. I think you can't see it in this picture I'm going to put up. I screwed up my knee right before Christmas. Can't see it in this picture because there's a little where that track is. It goes down on the other side of the track to down to the fence, so you can't see the 7mm static grass that lines that fence. And from that picture. Let's see if I have. I think. Let me see. I think I took a picture of the other side of that fence. Looking for a file. Here it is. There you can see the longer static grass. Now, that is the join between the layout and lift-out section. And I'll have some bushes and junk masking that to a certain degree. Ran out of LEDs. Oh no! Which reminds me, I probably need to order some more. You can see some of the signage on the backside of that fence as well. I've got to find a source for some cheap, cheap HO cars that I can smash. All right, John. We shall see you later. In case anybody wanted to know how long this bed section has to be, it has to come all the way to here. Cool. Mr. Linton, are you still on? Oh, John Linton. I need this section up to here, plus another full section. And then I have to make a couple gates. John, can I show that pic that you sent me? Yeah, Lynn, I think he is. I think the last time he was over, he was going back to work that following Monday. And then with the holidays, everybody's busy. Man, there must be a lag. Oh, okay, cool. For those that don't know, John Lenton uh, was in the Army. He was a tanker. And he picked up a couple military flat cars yesterday, or this week, from Zitniks. And uh, reworked them, painted them up. And I can guarantee everybody here that that camouflage is prototypical. Uh, you can buy, yeah, you probably can buy it wooden. All right. The I want it to look distressed, and thus why I'm doing it this way. And something like, cost wise, toothpicks are cheap. All right. It's just a matter of time, and I'm retired, so I got the time. You paint those flat parts too, John? One on the left looks more brown-ish, or that could just be lighting. It looks like the deck's been painted on them too. You know, what I forgot to do. I forgot to post a link in case anybody wanted to come up. I wonder why nobody's showing up in the basement. I'm a dumb. Everybody wants to come on up. Here's the link. Yeah, I figured the chat was lagging. So, Mr. Prototypical, hey, Randall, I see you. There you are. Don't hear you, though.
Do you hear me?
That could be me. Huh.
Here, let me try this. Hang on. And I mean, did that fix it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're low, but I can hear you. But that's still, I had the sound set at the wrong place. But all right, say something again, Randall.
I moved the phone a little closer. I don't know if that fixed it or not. But...
I had the volume down.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot to change the speakers over from my TV to my headset. So hopefully we don't get a echo.
I know you said you're not a BM fan, but I'll go ahead and show you this anyway. There's that engine that just came in yesterday.
Still got the styrofoam on the side there?
Yeah, I still got the styrofoam on the handrails there.
So what one is it?
Yeah.
I saw you, Lynn. I was getting ready to bring you up, Lynn, but you disappeared. Okay, Steve. What is it again?
I was just saying it has the Burlington Northern spelled out on the long hood. And that's one reason I bought that engine. It kind of goes back to the early 90s for me when I was a kid. So I'm kind of dabbling a little bit into my childhood a little bit. So
Well, that's what my railroad's all about.
Yep.
I mean, each one of my scenes, I won't say everyone, but most of my scenes have something connecting it to my childhood.
I like jumping into the Frisco stuff, even though I was going 4 years after being took over the Frisco. So I wasn't around back in those days. So, but I still try to find some of their.
I'm going to try something. If I lose you, I'm going to try switching my sound. This ought to be interesting. Okay, say something again, Randall.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still on my TV, though, instead of on my headset. So, that's why. try it again. Crap, now I don't have it on either.
See if I can move closer to the phone.
Yeah, you're back on my TV, but
You know,
and that's fine. I mean, I'm just
it may be
perplexed.
that my mic may be covered up. Hang on. Okay,
No,
is
it's
that
not
better?
you. It's
Oh,
not
it's
you.
not?
It's me. No,
Okay.
it's not you. See, I've got multiple speaker systems, multiple cameras, multiple microphones, and if you don't have everything lined up just right, no matter what you do, it doesn't turn out right.
Yeah.
Like my Windows. Oh, that's why. That's the output. Where's my in? Well, no. Well, doggy. Well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I hear you now on my
Yeah.
headset. Much better.
Good deal. Got that straightened out.
Ah, okay. So yes, he has painted the. I'm doing the chat for the stream, and then John Linton keeps texting me too. He says it in both places because I'm too thick to understand it from just one place. All right.
I got the chat up too, so.
All right. I'm gonna switch that. Before, okay, I like to ask at least one trivia question on my Friday streams. So, as we look at John Linton's military flat cars there, what type of tanks are those?
Are
All right,
you
Save
asking?
Lazy. I'm asking everybody, anybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say if you're asking me, I won't have an answer for you because military equipment's not my strong suit. So the military equipment that I know is the M1000 trailer and the what they call the 25 and 60K loaders. That's that as far as that goes.
Well, those are not modern day.
Yeah.
All right, here comes John. Maybe.
And the only reason I know those two is because my dad worked for the company that built them. So he worked for them. He's retired now. But,
all right, John, can you hear us? Aggressive tanks, big heavy ones. Good one, Andy. Army tanks. All right. We don't have a lot of military historians here. These were more common. I don't think they were in the Korean War, but John would be able to tell us that if he can get his mic and headset working. and they were probably out of date by early to mid 60s, probably early 60s. No, they are not Sherman tanks. I can show you what a Sherman tank looks like. Maybe. I will show you a Sherman tank.
Your dog's mad, Steve.
It just means there's somebody at the door or walking by. Here is a Sherman tank. With its distinctive slope. Sherman's a World War II tank. Oh, okay. I didn't know they were late 40s. Because Pershings were 1945. I think they actually went into active service on the front anyway. Probably developed before that. The M47s were originally known as the Pattons, but then its replacement came along, and they also named it a Patton tank, M48. So, Randall, we lost your picture in case you were wondering.
I turned my camera off, Steve, for a minute. I had to get up.
Oh, okay. That's fine. And John, you're still no sound, no camera. This is an M48. The M48 had a more rounded turret. After the M48 came the M60, which is what John was a crew member on, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know you'll remember this, Steve. I got something else to show you here. This guy's going to need a little work before he's ready to run, but I figure you'll recognize him.
F7?
This is a FA, but it's an old
FA.
line.
Okay. All right.
It's
All right.
I found this thing at an antique shop in West Plains. It had sat there for a long time. I think I gave like $8 or $9 for it. And, I stuck it on the layout, and the motor turns over. It runs, but it has how do I want to say this? It's kind of like the Athearn rubber band drives.
Yeah.
Their drive system, and the bands are actually gone. So I found some new bands for it on eBay. I'm going to try and install them on this engine and get it back going again.
St. Blasey, take care. Get yourself better.
But the fact that it's in this good shape is really neat. So,
yeah, I didn't see the vents. The only way I can tell them is if you look at them top down, because the vents are different. And the front It's a little bit snubbier. It's not as rounded as the F series.
Is my picture still showing up, Steve? Or
Yeah, I got your
okay,
picture.
I was gonna say it went blank on me here on my end, so just a split second. So I didn't know if I was still showing up or not, but.
Um, if anybody wants to look at a 3-hour long video, there is a video on the BNSF Metra racetrack in Chicago. And
I got a DVD from that. That's a neat place.
have you seen that?
I didn't see the video, but I've got an old Trains on Location DVD that features that. So it's a pretty neat place.
Well, they talk repeatedly about my hometown there, Downers Grove, and in particular, Downers Grove had 3 train stations. Okay, the most anybody else had was 2. And Downers Grove was the terminal point on the west side for the Burlington commuter service up until the 1960-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
And they even had a turntable there so they could turn the old steam engines around to pull the trains back downtown, pull the commuter trains back downtown. I don't ever remember that turntable. I know where it was, but it was gone by the time I could remember. And but they talk about one of the stations there is Fairview, okay, and they don't say Downers Grove, but it's actually Downers Grove Fairview Station. That's where I used to sit with my grandma as a kid. All right, just watching the trains, because along that racetrack, which is, when I say racetrack, it's 3 main line. It's 3-track main line, and so you've got local service on each of the outside and express service going down the middle, like the freights going between Aurora and the Berwyn-Cicero freight yard. They go down the center track. All the local freights would go on the east or westbound outer sides. But you could sit there, and between the Zephyr, as a kid, Zephyr's now Amtrak, between those and the commuter trains and the freights, local and express, I mean, it was just constant trains. Okay, just constant. I've never seen a place other than a yard with that much railroad activity. Okay.
So, my mom, back in the early '60s, she always used to tell me stories about this, about going to Kansas City, and she said there were trains everywhere up there. Back to one of the stories I remember her telling me is she was supposed to go on a Frisco train to come to Thayer, and she wound up boarding the California Zephyr by mistake. And how that happened, the conductor on the train looked at her ticket, and he told her, said, "You don't want to get on this train, so if you do, you're going to California." So,
well, she'd have a chance to get off at Denver.
yeah, but she said everything. It was at night, and I guess everything on the passenger trains.
It could not have been the California Zephyr, because it didn't go through Kansas City. It could have been a different Zephyr.
May have been. I don't know.
Yeah, or a different railroad's version of the Zephyr. People could have just called the streamlined passenger Zephyrs back in the day.
Yeah.
So, there's all kinds of different Zephyrs, just like there's all kinds of different chiefs. You had most notable super cheap.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the train was going to California. That's all I really know about that.
Well, I did something similar, except on an airplane. Now, this is pre 9/11. It could never, I would hope, could never happen nowadays. But pre 9/11, I had a flight from Oklahoma City, where I was living at the time, through DFW and on to San Antonio on Delta.
Yeah.
And it was a 6:30 in the morning flight, so I got up at 4. I had my pot of coffee, drove to the airport. I had baggage, so I went and checked my bag, and they marked on my envelope gate C4. All right, so I went to gate C4, and I'm out of picture. I guess it'd help if I stood back over here, huh? And so I went to gate C4, and I need to adjust that. They're loading the plane, so I get right on in line. I hand the guy my ticket, go on, find my seat, sit down. All right, being the experienced traveler that I was, I sit down. It's 6:30 in the morning. I go to sleep. Okay. Probably not the wisest thing I've ever done. So I'm asleep during the announcement where they say where the plane's going. And the plane takes off. Okay. And it's still dark out. I get a tap on my shoulder from one of the flight attendants. Sir, would you like breakfast? I'm going, what? Breakfast? She said, oh, yes, sir. And I said, now, you have to keep in mind, look at a map. Okay. You got Oklahoma City, and 250 miles south is Dallas. Okay, it's a 35 minute in the air flight.
Yeah.
And they're going to serve breakfast. Okay, by the time you take off, all right, get to altitude, and before you start vectoring for landing, all right, you maybe have 10, 15 minutes, and they're going to give me breakfast. I'm going, do we have time? She said, oh, yes, sir. We got plenty of time. Okay. So she brings me my breakfast. And I mean, I'm scarfing this breakfast down. All right. And by this time, the sun's coming up. And she comes back by, coffee? Shh. Do we have time? Oh, yes, sir. Going, huh. Yeah, I'll take up. But the plane's not vectoring. What the hell? And I just happen to think about it. Dallas is due south. Okay, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun should be on the left side of the plane. I am on the right side of the plane, and I can see the sun in front of us. This is not good. So I get up and I go back to the galley where the 3 flight attendants were. And I said, if I was a betting man, I'd say this plane's going to Atlanta. And they looked at me and said, well, yes, sir. I nodded my head. They, where did you think it was going? I said, well, my boarding pass says DFW. And they said, oh my, you're on the wrong plane. I said, you think? And I said, I did have a little help from your ground crew there in Oklahoma City. And they said, well, we're going to be coming in to gate such and such. There's a customer service desk, 2 gates down, and I'm sure they'll take care of you. So I went there and walked right up. And the guy said, how can I help you? And I said, well, I feel a lot like Macaulay Culkin, except you're not American Airlines and this is New York City.
Yeah.
And the guy says, did you get on the wrong plane? I said, yeah, with the help of the ground crew in Oklahoma City. And he looks at me, and he asked my boarding pass. I give it to him, and he said, you're trying to go to San Antonio. I said, yeah, I am. He says, I got a flight leaving in 15 minutes out of gate such and such. He printed out a ticket and said, go. So I told I had gotten promoted from San Antonio to our corporate offices in Oklahoma City. So when I get to San Antonio, I get there, and my old secretary, and I told her what happened, and she said, "Well, at least you got a free breakfast." I said, I did better than that. I got another free breakfast between Atlanta and San Antonio."
Hey, can't beat that.
No, not with a stick. So that's my misadventures traveling.
What's that line? Foghorn Leghorn used once. That's the way I like them, totally free.
I got back to Oklahoma City at the end of the week on that Friday, and that gate agent was there. I walked over to him. I said, "Hey, I want to thank you for that free tour of Atlanta." He looked at me and says, "Are you Mr. Childers?" I said, "Yeah." He said, I knew I had a problem, and by the time I figured it out, you were wheels up." And he says, "Are you flying again anytime soon?" I said, "I fly every week." He says, "Do you have any of your tickets yet?" I said, "I got a whole month's worth. I got into my briefcase, handed them all my tickets, reprinted them all. I flew first class for a month after that."
Pretty good right there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you real quick what was wrong with this FA that I picked up. I took the body off of it. Right here's the chassis. You can see the
Yeah.
bands are gone. Well, part of them's still there, but
Lift it up higher.
and I guess I'm gonna have to take these trucks off to get the bands on the bottom around the pulley on the trucks. So that's what it's looking like anyway.
Huh.
So that's gonna be a fun tour, but I think we can get her back going again.
I need to slide this camera a little bit more that way. There.
Motor actually turns pretty good on the thing. Even the headlight works on it, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah. Make sure you lube it up real good, and
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
it's probably got a 3-pole motor to it, though, doesn't it?
Probably. Let's see. Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, folks, I try to limit my Friday stream to 2 hours, and we're right at 2 hours and 3 minutes. So I'm going to wind it up. And
All right, Steve. Well, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Randall. Everybody, don't forget Anthony Dodge comes on at 3:30
everybody.
Eastern.
Well.
And Mr. Linton, I'll see you Sunday. And everybody else will see you on the streams. And,
Thanks, Steve. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye, Randall.
See you.
And let me wrap this thing up. Take care, everybody. And stay safe. Don't drive drunk. Hear me, Andy? Bye, all.